we start by making sure those people that we bring to cabinet are people of integrity. And secondly, want to make sure that even beginning with myself, we'll declare our assets and want to make sure that this is well known, the purpose of coming to government, to know that it's public service. And if you are not ready to serve the public, you can go elsewhere. But we want to make sure that we start on a clear note that the people of our country stood on line, they protected the votes, not to bring a team again that will do the same thing that the other people are doing or worse. So it's a clear message, declare your asset, make sure that we are prepared to audit the outgoing government so that they tell the Liberian people of their stewardship, and to make sure that we start on a footing where people know that they come to serve the public and not themselves. If they don't understand that, they actually fall where it may.
Mr. President-elect, you talked about asset declaration starting from yourself and the people who work with you, as well as the outgoing administration. How do you plan to avoid the semblance of targeting people? Because some people will say these are politically motivated to tarnish their reputation or to go against them, people from certain tribes or specific parts of the country. How do you plan to avoid this?
We are aware of that. And when we talk about auditing, it's not going to be a Liberian auditing. We want to make sure that our international partners work with us for a public tender, for competent and renowned auditing firm that will be qualified at an international level to make sure they come on board to do that. We are aware of people saying witch hunting, but I don't think it's witch hunting when you have to account for your stewardship, but it has to be done in a way that is well-established, entity with reputation, to make sure that it audits and make sure that it reports to the public the findings.
Sometimes people say that politicians make lofty promises when they are campaigning, but when it gets to governance, it becomes different. What would be different? Assuming allies of yours, family members of yours, or people who are close to you, family members, are accused of corruption during your administration, Mr. President-elect, how do you plan to tackle this specifically?
I'm not coming new to government.
Right.
Although in different positions, I ran a public corporation that was credible. And I can tell you that I come to work not with friendship. I have friends, but there is a clear line of demarcation between friendship, family, and managing. With the experience that we come with a country in the 6 years and with the life of our people living below the poverty line, I don't think we come into government again to start talking about our family, to start talking about, I think we come there to make sure that we give the Liberian people hope, and I'm committed to that.
During the campaigning, you talked a lot about the country's youth, who are the majority of the population.
Yes.
Mr. President-elect, we know majority of them are unemployed, which some people say is a danger to the country's stability and peace. What plans do you have for the people of Liberia, especially the youth, in terms of job creation, in terms of having faith in moving the country forward? What do you have for them?
We came with a mantra that talked about, first we have a platform, and then we have in a brief platform that talks about arrest, meaning agriculture, roads, the rule of law, education, sanitation, and tourism. We believe these are areas in which we can jumpstart. And in those areas, we believe that our young people who are in the majority, they need to be equipped. We need to open opportunities for them to be trained and be marketable. We also have to make sure that the quality of education that will prepare them for the job market. But to do these, we have to be able to impress our partners and investors, the private sector investment, to make them feel that we are here for business, and this business, their investment will impact the young people, but the young people need to be trained. And we know that there are things that we can jumpstart that could bring little relief to the public. Like I have said, there is an outgoing government. There are a lot of areas in which we can begin to alleviate the suffering of the people. We're going to examine those areas, like where we know that the prices of commodities, essential commodities like rice and things, where we know that there have been some tariffs that we can work with right away, the petroleum products and some of these things here. We want to do those things that will begin to alleviate. But I have said that in the first 100 days, no car will get stuck in the mud. That means these critical road conditions, we lessen them, because once you improve the road, the travel, the prices of commodities, all of that have reflection. On the job market, we're going to be very cautious because people have a lot of expectations in government, but in government, we have to know what we're inheriting, and that's what the transition team is working with. I come with a knowledge and with experience and a commitment to make Liberia a different country, a country in which the young people, our women, will know that it is time for them to be relieved. And we come to make them know that, yes, it's not going to be an overnight thing, but we come with a serious commitment to make sure that we make life easier for them.
You talked about the women.
Yes.
Any plans for women empowerment in Liberia?
Very much so. And, I have worked with women. When I was vice president of Liberia, one of the areas in which a lot of my first few months were utilized were with the marketing association. I worked with them until we got them organized, until we got money to create a real LMA that will become independent. That's why you see that the government, with all their muscling, they can tamper with them. We made sure that there was a law firm that put together their constitution to protect them, that we provided money for them to get a business entity that put them together to teach them some business. And those areas where mostly women control. Beside that, we intend to bring on board women, capable women. And I want to say, we don't want any token relation. We want people who are competent and capable and deserve the positions they get. Gender issues have always been issues close to my heart. And women involvement, we want to make sure that that is ensured. But I can tell you, the Liberians do understand where we're coming from. We want to make them know, we build a confidence that, yes, rescue is here, relief is here, but we have to move it at a level that we don't give any false assurances to anybody.
Let's look at the health system in Liberia. You mentioned it during your campaign. A lot of people say it's either non-existent or, Liberians would have to go to neighboring countries or even, southern part of the continent to go seek for medical attention. Mr. President-elect, how do you plan to tackle this? Because it's a serious issue.
I have worked with the health sector when I was in government, and you will see that we have Jamali, where now they do, people can go and do their examinations instead of going to Ghana. We have in mind to increase more of that on a regional basis to make sure that people can go somewhere instead of coming all the way to Monrovia to check there. A lot of people say the person just sat down and died. People don't just sit down and die. But that there will be possibilities that people will know at an early stage the condition of their health. Besides that, we want to open opportunities for all our hospitals and clinics to be functional. And when I say functional, there's a belief in a country that once you build a building, it's a clinic. But once you build a building, it's a school. We want to make those things real, that when we build a hospital, it has the right people, and those people will be paid. The nurses, people, all who are responsible will be looked after. Because even those who look after people, they themselves need to be looked after.
But Mr.
We want to make
President,
them function.
that costs a lot of money. How do you
costs
plan
money.
to finance it?
It costs money. But let me tell you, Liberia is not working. Everything that we are doing, there have been a lot of work put in the health sector. How should it function? What we need in Liberia is implementation. We're not beginning as a new country. Everything is on paper. But we need to make sure that we function according to those guidelines that have been set up. We implement those things that have been documented over the years. And I want to believe that we are not in there alone. There are partners who are anxious to see a government that is committed to make sure that these things function and that they are willing to work with us. Even as at now, we have made a lot of contracts already for medical supplies. I have been to Arizona, Project Q. They've given a container load of medical supplies. But we have to make sure that these things reach their proper destination, not ministers opening their private clinics, not people standing there along the way. So we are aware, and the system is in place. We have to implement what we said.
Mr. President, like you talked about Liberians taking Liberia back to where it should be. What do you mean by that? And how do you plan to do that?
Well, we say where it should be because everybody remembers the good old Liberia, but we have to understand that the good old Liberia had not always been the good old Liberia for all Liberians. So taking it back means that there are some things that we're working right that we need to, but we need to go further than that. Population has increased. Take Monrovia, for example. When it used to be 350,000 people, now it's over 1.5 million. And you know the social services are not there. We haven't coped with the social services. We have to make sure that we go back to where we were when things were good, but we have to see that.
Yes, sir. A special one from the CEO, stand humble with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band. Charges on the beat.
To the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television.
Okay, Spoon Television, Spoon Radio, of course. Spoon is where you get all the information. And I'd like to say welcome again to another edition of the program. This is the late night show, the late night politics on Spoon. Thanks to our thousands of followers across the world who always make up time to join us up here. Thanks to you in Radio Land as well for being a part of this joining, always making sure that your radio, your batteries are charged. You get a radio on time, just to be part of what we have to say here every single day. The critical analysis, the different views on those trending national issues. I want to say thanks for being here with us tonight again. My name is Nelson Colette. The late night show is going to be very interesting tonight. Let me go across and bring in the team. I see Francis Jabati is already here. Francis, welcome to the show, man. It's good to have you on tonight.
Thank you, Nelson. Good to be here. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. The first edition of the program for this week. Yeah. So how was your weekend? Let me bring Magnus on. Magnus, welcome to the show.
I mean, my weekend was good, man. Weekend was good. Can't complain. Stay home with the little man.
Okay.
Just chill. Stay enjoying new fatherhood.
Okay.
So yeah, but so far the weekend was good.
So there you go. I called you the other day, the newest baby daddy. You said no, you're not the
But
newest.
you don't want to let anything go, so I was just taking that.
Oh, my man, you get baby.
Yeah, man. But guys, it's good to be here. Magnus, no, you don't want to go there. Magnus, it's good to have you on tonight.
Thank you,
guys. What's going on, man? What's on your mind? Let's kick start the show. I had to do some adjustments in the background, and it's good that we're back here.
So we jump into what's on your mind. I just want to continue from where Spoon Talk had this guy that's running to be on the state representative, of Minnesota. He was speaking, on Spoon to spread the message with folks in Minnesota. But then this guy, I said, though, that dude, I don't know, man. He's probably like the George Weeder on Spoon Talk. Because he coming up, bringing up, the people in Minnesota, most of them don't want to vote for the guy because, or they told him that they won't vote for the guy because they are seditious, and the guy was probably one of the main vocal person against George Weah. So I'm sitting here saying to myself, you're living in America, all of you, thousands of you in Minnesota, got no representation on your state board. So you care so much about liberal politics. You think everybody be seditious, everybody be Unity Party? But in Minnesota, where thousands of you guys sitting down there, you don't play politics. Then why are they putting seditious people up to run for state representative? Instead of coming and saying, you know what, we are one Liberian, let's support this president. You want to bring liberal politics into U.S. politics. You will stay on inside. That's why the guy said, if you're not on the table, you'll be on the menu. So let it be on the menu, talking about the sedition and the mayor of vocal against George Weah. George Weah will kind of take it off the menu in Minnesota. Let's sit down there.
No, but at the end of the day, Francis, if you support this man, then you have to help his campaign. And I think your approach,
right now it's not even about going.
It's not going to help the campaign. No, Francis, your approach is not going to help this process, man.
No, I can care less. That's a no issue. Let it be carried out. See movement mentality.
No, because if you want this man, if you want Russell to succeed, then imagine yourself as one of the campaign ambassadors right now. The fact that you support him, you're even talking about him. Imagine yourself as one of the campaign persons, and then you're telling the people that you like it, I have been it, but don't bring that thing here. Listen, the reason why most people say politicians can lie Francis, is because when the man is in that situation, I'm not talking about that other situation now, but when he's in that situation where he wants the vote, he's not going to come down so hard on you. He's not going to tell you the things that you don't want to hear. He's not going to be so rough or brutal in his utterances and all of that. But what that man is going to do is to talk to you nicely. He's going to tell you the things you want to hear, and that's part of the political strategy. And sometimes don't hold those people responsible.
Yeah,
So support this man. If you support Mr. Russell to occupy this position, yeah, he's a Liberian and stuff like that. I understand there's Somalian.
Other nationalities,
right?
are represented.
Yeah, and the Liberian community is second largest. So if you support this man, you should be now appealing to the consciences of the people there to go his way. Every day people, hey, I want to have business.
It's about time Liberian people wake up and start thinking, learn how to separate things. Politics that happen in Liberia is different from politics that happen in the US.
Yeah.
When
Francis,
that man go there, he represented all of us.
Francis, I mean, I kind of side with Nelson a bit because elections. No.
Francis, listen. That you can count in when you do that wasn't right.
No, you don't, Francis. No, Francis, you are done. You are done, Francis. You are done.
Francis.
Well, even our mad jealousy when men say, okay, even if it's good for us, because I'm jealous about Magnum, I will not support Magnum.
Francis, it is not jealousy.
It's better than me.
It is not jealousy.
Let it go do in Minnesota business. Joey, I can't take care of them.
Politics, as people can say, is about interest. And when they say politics is interest, it's not just about the people who are contesting for office or the people who are in office, but even the people who are going to vote. So you got to appeal to the conscience of the people. The people will tell you, sometimes people tell you, when they are running for representative or when you are living in the community, you never used to carry around. Now because he won't be represented, now he coming around.
That argument. That argument makes sense.
Hold on. That is a similar case. The mayor. Hold on, Francis.
You can't say because
brother. Can you mute your mic?
So that is a similar case, right? We are all Liberians, and Liberia is our common patrimony, right? We all ascribe to Liberia, no matter where we are, right? And we hold Liberia's interest high. So everything that has to do with Liberia kind of is on everybody's mind. So especially when it comes to election, everybody are on different sides of the aisle, right? So if you who were having interest in the Liberian election took a side against somebody own side, if you want to contest to represent the Liberians' interest abroad, you got to prove to them, man, that okay, we are all one people, we are all from the same country. Although we have our own division back home, which is a different politics, but we are all Liberian here. So you got to appeal to the main conscience, because the very thing about the campaign is there were people who said a whole lot of things during the campaign, a whole lot of stuff people said during the campaign, and some people it did not go well. It did not go down well with other people. Some people took it personal. Some people, So you got to reach across the aisle. You got to reach across the aisle, no matter what. If you want to vote for Russell, I didn't even know he was contesting. I will start calling my friends in Minnesota to vote for him. I mean, my brother, similar case, what you are saying, right? Is happening right in Philadelphia where I am. My brother, the entire Southwest Philly is Liberians. Let's say African. But you know who represent the district here? It's an American.
Yeah.
Because
we don't want to see each other.
No. It is not about we don't want to see each other, right? It is not about it. My brother Francis, when Joshua are playing football, how many Liberians you know that did not support Joshua when you are playing football?
That's a different scenario.
No.
Very different scenario. You can bring that here.
You know what happened? If you are in the diaspora, right, and you want to represent the Liberia's interest, you got to position yourself wherein the entire Liberian community to coalesce around you. They will come around you, right? And they will see you as that that arrowhead. They will see you as that person that they can come around and uplift. So since I've been in Philadelphia, I'm not seeing a Liberian I'm not seeing a Liberian who will come and put themselves out there. There are few people trying, right? But you got to win the trust of the Liberian people.
Magnum, I get what you're saying, but the issue here is this.
If you want Russell to win, my brother, if you want Russell to win, Russell got to go to the hardest, the people who hate him.
That's politics. You got to reach across the aisle, Magnum. I get that. But when people start to say, oh, because you are a vocal critic of my political candidate in Liberia, and they don't have an alternative to represent them in America, and you are one of their own in America that is looking to go, what other communities, other African communities, other national are represented. They say, oh, because you are a vocal critic of my party, thousands of miles away. So now, I'm not going to vote for you here to give me a seat at the table, for me to have somebody like me to channel my grievance and through when things happen on a state level in my state. I will not.
Francis. Yeah, Francis.
Francis. Okay. So guys, we have to make progress. Magnus, we are actually not here long today. It's gonna be a short but a sweet show. We encourage our folks to share the program and join us. Let's have a great show today. You want to tell us what's on your mind quickly?
What's on my mind is, I've been, browsing and going through the social media, and I'm seeing a lot of race of prohibition flying around from people from LTA, Governance Commission, for tenure position, people saying, oh, they're taking a job from them and the witch hunting. So I think it is time we talk about this whole code of conduct stuff and we lay to rest. And I think the president now need to appoint the office of the ombudsman to be interpreting and, enforcing this code of conduct, because it's becoming an issue. Because, if the code of conduct, as people are saying, because everybody has their own explanation or has their own side. The people who support the government like us are saying, you were appointed to a tenure position, but you are there campaigning, you are there fighting people. And we saw you in party regalia. And then you say, oh, you in tenure position. If you're in tenure position, the reason why they made certain position tenure is for you to remain neutral, because you are upholding certain aspects of government that are very essential. But if you're not upholding that and you take side, it means you are no longer impartial. You're no longer impartial, right? So that position, you lose that tenure by virtue of the fact that you become impartial. So you've gone against the code of conduct.
Okay, so your concern has to do with the whole code of conduct thing and the tenure and all of that. But let's take Alfred quickly. Alfred has his wedding anniversary today. Is it today or was it yesterday? Alfred, welcome.
Today to my son and yesterday to your son.
Oh, okay.
You
want me to, what is it?
The thing is that in the chat room. Then now you here?
Alfred, let's hear you quickly, sir. What's on your mind? Happy anniversary to you, first of all.
Thank you so much. Thank you, my brother. Thank you.
You've been one of Liberia's most committed married men. And but while I was just talking about that, Francis then texted me that he has something on you that he was going to send to me for me to pull up. But I told him I want to review that thing very well before I put it up, because I don't want to cause problem here, But it's good to have you on tonight.
Thank you so much. Wow, let me just say to my brother Francis, anything you have on me, you own your own, my brother.
And your wife is watching the show as well. So Francis needs to be very careful.
Don't bring out your CEO thing out.
No, she was my wife can follow. My wife following the show. Now, wow.
But tell me, I say, and I hear bring CEO thing out.
You want me to put my phone up? Anyway, Alfred, go ahead. Let's hear you. What's in your mind?
Yes, again, I want to say good evening, gentlemen. Good evening. This is the most talked about show in the country, and whenever we come here, we it's a privilege, and I want to say thank you so much, Nelson, for giving me an opportunity. What's on my mind tonight has got to do with this issue of the code of conduct. I think the president of the Republic of Liberia needs to be fast to appoint the ombudsman so that all this issue about witch hunt will be laid to rest. In as much as we want the president also to uphold the rule of law, we don't want the issue of the issue of a turning position should be chaos or dramatic, right? We don't want people to see it as a witch hunt. And what also on my mind tonight has to do with the legal advisor to the president. The legal advisor to the president, I think he's out of line. He needs to go back in line. In as much as we consider him to be a legal luminary of the country, he needs to know his place. All right, he's talking loosely. He needs to know his place and not to be around the place talking all around. He's not a spokesperson of the president. He's a legal advisor. And let that role be discreet to advise the president on critical national issues when it comes to the law.
Thank you.
Also, what on my mind has to do with the district number 9 representative Safoko. I think the brother was very comical today when I listened to him when he said he has written a communication for impeachment of a president who has just been in power for less than 2 months. I think this brother is comical, and if he wants to be a comedian, he should let us know so that the Liberian people can record him, and then we can go and pay some money and watch him doing a stand-up comedy. I think that's what he needs to do. But if he wants to do the Liberian people job for which he was elected, he needs to be serious and start playing around here. Thank you so much.
But listen, a lawmaker is expressing what's on his mind. You know, like you're doing here now. He's saying why he thinks this president who has been in office for just 1 month should be impeached. Don't you think it's something that's worth listening to? Like as democracy would demand.
Nothing. We gotta be serious. Our country has suffered a lot. This country has suffered a lot of nothing. We got to be serious. People who we elect, we gotta be serious as a country. People that are forgotten, we're giving them legislative position, but they don't have no experience whatsoever. They just go and talk loosely. You know, they say they want to get some political, relevance. I think the brother needs to do himself justice to learn more about what governance means and what it entails to be a lawmaker. I think he needs to learn more. He needs to shut up and learn. That's what he needs to do.
Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot. You know, we're about to start the show, and I want to recognize some of our folks here. Marcia, Celine, yeah, all of you who have joined us, I appreciate you. Thanks for being here tonight. Well, this Tenure issue is something that is becoming so concerning, very alarming, and is getting to take the attention of Liberians across the country. Well, since the pronouncement made by, I want to bring that clip, just a short one here. I want us to listen to this.
in keeping with Article 25, the sanctity of contracts. All those who have valid tenures who are replaced will be compensated for the unexpired portion of their tenures in keeping with law. There is a caveat to that. The Code of Conduct in Article 5.1 says all officials appointed by the President of the Republic of Liberia shall not A. engage in political activities, canvass or contest for elected offices, B. use government facilities, equipment, or resources in support of partisan or political activities, and C. serve on a campaign team of any political party or the campaign of any independent candidate. That's the law. The law says you cannot be a tenured official and you actively take part in politics. Serve on a campaign team, dress up in campaign paraphernalia, post all your campaign photos, and do all the other activities, and then still expect your tenure to be respected or expect to be paid if your tenure is taken away. Therefore, we announce that for those individuals who have tenure today, who we have evidence violated the Code of Conduct, you will be replaced and will not compensate you. You'll be replaced.
Okay, so you will be replaced and we will not compensate you. So that's for those who had tenure positions, and those positions, those individuals were clearly seen campaigning during the campaign process. Now, but I want us to go to something here. The National Identification Registry, where Liberians go to obtain the national ID cards. The head of that entity, sorry, the head of the entity is Andrew Peters. Andrew Peters. So Mr. Andrew Peters happens to be one of the individuals who has been caught in this very web. Like you listen to the president, the president's legal advisor, people who were saying, in fact, it's in two folds. The people whose tenure were created by statute, those whose tenure are not constitutional, those people will be compensated for the remaining time they have. So if your tenure is supposed to be 5 years, for example, and you've gone 3 years, you'll be compensated for the remaining 2 years, and you will be removed. Now, the other category has to do with people who are in tenure positions, and they know exactly that as per the tenure positions they occupied, they're not supposed to be seen campaigning, but they were heavily involved with the campaign process, wearing on the party regalia of the different political institutions that they support or they supported. Those individuals, for that category, they will be removed. So in line with what the president's legal advisor said, Andrew Peters, the director or the executive director of the National Identification Registry, was caught in a web. So the president made an appointment. He appointed another individual to replace Andrew Peters. Now, Andrew Peters now feels that his right, the protection that he's supposed to enjoy as per the tenure he occupies, has been violated. So Andrew now has dragged the executive branch of government to court for nominating another person to his unexpired tenured position. So he filed a writ of prohibition before the Supreme Court against President Bouakar's nomination. And And following that rate of prohibition, there is a 13-count petition that Andrew Peters, through his legal team, has prayed the court. That rate of prohibition is contained in a 13-count petition. So he's calling on the court to restrain the executive from illegally and unlawfully removing him from his office as the National Identification Registry Executive Director. So, according to the rate, the petitioner now, who is Andrew Peters, was appointed by President George Weah based on the submission of his name by the board of directors of the National Identification Registry. And there was a vigorous process. There was a process of vetting and everything that went on. So this is the case that Andrew Peters is making. He's saying that he did not just get to the position based on party, I will say, and muya. No. He was vetted, and following the rigorous vetting process, he, Andrew Peters, was then qualified to serve in that position. So, as it stands, the Supreme Court has now ordered the executive branch of government to immediately halt the sitting of Edward Liberty. So Edward Liberty is the guy who was nominated or appointed by the president to serve. So following this petition, the rate of prohibition called for by Andrew Peters, the Supreme Court has now ordered the executive branch of government to immediately halt the sitting of Edward Liberty and stop him from taking office as executive director of the National Identification Registry. Edward Liberty, Andrew Peters, this is where we are. Now, and I bring it back to this whole issue, and it's a good thing that almost everyone, let me bring the rest of the guys on. Sandy, welcome to the show. Our brother Afri Afanda, welcome to the show. Now it's a good thing that we are at this stage. Alfred kickstarted the conversation by talking about the whole tenure position and everything around it. This is where we are. Edward Liberty, Andrew Peters has taken to court the executive branch of government. Is this a fight that's worth it? Let's take on the conversation from there. Given all of what you heard from the president's legal advisor with respect to this whole tenure position, though Andrew Peters, on the other hand, is making a case that, oh, I was vetted, I didn't just get here with muya, but I went through the due process. I was vetted and everything, and I got here through the legal means. But based on the comment from the president's legal advisor, this is where we are. Is this a fight that's worth it? With what's going on now, the head of that institution, Edward Liberty, who has been nominated or appointed to serve in that position, will not be taking his seat until the Supreme Court makes a final decision in this case. Let's hear your take on this, guys. Let's start with Alfred, and then we're going to make the rounds. Vasco is coming in to join us as well. Vasco, welcome to the show. Is it a good thing? Is it a good idea for the current government, the current administration, to clamp down on tenure positions, to dissolve or remove some of those individuals who were appointed or who have been serving in those different positions? Now, let's start with you, Alfred, and we're going to make the rounds on this one.
Now, see, we have to be very careful when it comes to this whole issue of the code of conduct. The Constitution is very clear. If you read the code of conduct, it clearly states that the removal of individuals should be based on cause. Yeah. It should be based on cause. Either they violated their tenure contracts, or they did something that clearly the code of conduct talked about. And as intimated by the legal advisor, if that is the reason for which the brother is being removed, then of course we don't need to take too much time on it. Let the evidence be proven, and that there should be a due process. So he has taken it to court. What the government needs to do now is to make sure that the decision to remove him should be based on law. It should not be based on because if President Baga wants to appoint people. No, it should be based on law, because the law is supposed to protect everybody. Whether he's a sedition or not, the law should be the law. If they say they are removing because he violated the code of conduct, he should be given due process, but not to remove him and appoint somebody without due process.
And then here's the thing. Alfred. The thing here is Andrew Peters' case is different. Andrew Peters is not one of those persons who have been accused of campaigning and getting involved with pre-campaign activities. No, he's not one of those persons who have been accused of that. But as per the constitutional authority given the president in the discharge of his duty decided to make nominations. And then it turns out that the National Identification Registry is one of the places where the president makes nominations. Is it that the president, is it that it was an oversight to have the president nominating, or let's say appointing someone to serve at the National Identification Registry when in fact there is this guy there, Andrew Peters, who is the executive director, and he's still in a tenure position? Do you think it was an oversight, Alfred? You think so?
I don't think it was an oversight. There are people who are very excited about government job, so they are all around the place trying their best to remove people from their position because they feel like they spend their money. They feel like they are the one. They feel entitled. Let me put it this way: there are people in the Unity Party that feel that in the Unity Party alliance that feel that they feel entitled to government jobs. So that by all means they will get government jobs. And this is not what we fought for. This is not what we fought for. We fought for a government that will come to ensure that all Liberians have a level playing field for equal opportunity, equal work. Not because the person did not support you or you just forced to get government job. You have to create a private sector, so all these people that are trying to make the government a burden, they can go in the private sector and find job to do. That's what they need to do. That was not an oversight. So again, like we say here, right? The argument about the president authority, the Constitution is very clear in terms of establishment of agencies or government ministry. The Constitution of Liberia is not a static document. It is a dynamic document. So are you telling me that tomorrow, if the president deems it necessary, the national legislature deems it necessary to establish another agency by law, you want to tell me that the president will just get up and appoint or dismiss people because he has the constitutional authority? That's not what the process called for.
No. Thanks a lot, Alfred. Let's hold you there and move to Francis a bit. Francis,
I need to get my. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Francis, now let's hear from you, Francis. This is what might be considered the first legal or the first lawsuit against this administration. Now, I stand to be corrected on this one. Andrew Peters, like some others, have decided not to sit back. He has dragged the executive branch of government to court. Who is the head of the executive? Indirectly, this man have sued Ambassador Boakai, President Boakai, our president. He have sued the vice president and all those people in the executive. He's accusing them of unlawfully, illegally, and unlawfully trying to remove him from his position. By extension, what he's saying is that what the executive has done is illegal. He's accusing the executive of being in violation of the very laws that this executive should be protecting when the president took the oath of office. Let's hear your take on this issue, Alfred. Francis.
I mean, so yeah, he has the right to go to the Supreme Court, and by the Supreme Court freezing the seating of the appointee, I don't know if it has been confirmed.
They put a hot on it. There's a hot on it.
That's just standard practice by the court. Anytime there's a dispute and you involve the Supreme Court, if they are going to hear that case, they will put a freeze or a pause or whatever the case may be. And that's what happened here. The Supreme Court cannot be waiting to hear a case and you say, okay, the person, the activity should still continue. No, because once the Supreme Court ruled, if the Supreme Court ruled contrary to what you wanted to do, then it has to be reversed anyway. So that's why they put a pause on things. But with that being said, coming to the whole tyranny thing, I believe also the president has the right to relieve people of their duty, especially if you work in the government, work at the pleasure of the president. Yes, any position you have to sometimes complete your time, but not all of the time. But my only concern here is if this president was performing their duty the way they're supposed to, and they were not, and they didn't violate any law, why even bother with that position? Why bother with that position if the president did not violate anything? I mean, like Alfred said, it's getting ridiculous with all these entitled United Party people running around here, oh, we'll campaign for you, you should get our job, this, that, and the other. So now, I mean, I'm just going to speculate and say, or assume, saying, oh, that's why they're doing all of these things, temporary with some tenure position. We can talk about the ones that went out campaigning that blatantly violated the rules or the law. They can be removed. But also, if you're going to remove somebody who did not violate any law and you just want to replace them, then now you have to pay that person for the remainder of that term. You are wasting the country's resources, because now you are going to be paying two people for one job, but only one person is working.
You have a point there. You have a point there. How do we restitute or replace whatever is being used to pay the people who will be leaving, who will be compensated? And that's a great point. But Francis, do you for any reason think that this was an oversight?
No, Alfred said the same thing, man. I believe we sing the song here. It's just ridiculous how people are just running around the country, one job. When you vote for, when you campaign for somebody, okay, one of our brothers in the YouTube comment section say, your friend was a politician, his career will not take off the ground. My career will not take off the ground because I don't take crap. I don't baby people. I don't kiss anybody behind. So we are here campaigning against drugs. We are saying getting out of there, not because we want a job in government, because we want the government to do well.
The argument here, on the other hand, is that the president has the legal authority, the constitutional authority, to remove, to replace.
Yes,
especially those in the executive. Those people work at the will and pleasure of the president.
Yes, but if it's a constitutional position, you go and remove that person, and the person did not violate any rule or any law, and you just remove the person, yes, you can remove the person, but at what cost to the country? If you remove the person, you have to pay the person the remainder of that term. Then you bring somebody else, and you pay two people for one job, for one position, and only one person working. That's waste of resources. You don't have to replace that person if the person did not violate any job. And also, too, I will support the president if the president did not perform at all. If the president was a terrible employee, then remove the president. Yes, we may bite the bullet and say, okay, let's pay that person off, but that's what we get for voting incompetent leaders that will appoint incompetent people. But President Barker, I'm talking about the past government now. If the person he replacing did not do their job properly, he should replace the president, because there's no point of having that person in a position that they're not doing anything for the country. But we'll bite the bullet by paying two people. In that case, I'll support it.
Thank you. Let's hold you there, Francis. We will move to Magnus, but let's bring Vasco on quickly, and then we move to Magnus. Vasco, what's your take on this issue as you just sit back, listening through everything that's happening in the country now with respect to this tenure, the actions that have been taken, the government being dragged to court, the executive branch of government. Andrew Peters says, look, the government is illegally and unlawfully trying to remove me from this position that I'm supposed to be in when my tenure is yet to expire. What's your take on this, Vasco?
Yeah, thank you, Nelson. I mean, this issue about this tenure position, it just showed to us that President Baka cannot govern our country. Because to even have people still serving their tenure position, and then you start to appoint people at that same place, that those people still in that position, you never met them for you to negotiate to see if you want to get them out. Because these people, before getting them out of that position, you have to go through some negotiation. Because this is a law. We understand the president has the right, but these people were classified as the people that know everything. President Baka was vice president. He signed onto all of those laws. It passed in our house there. So he should know. Someone who spent the kind of a long period of time in government shouldn't be the one to try to bend the law. Because what the United Party government is doing right now, this is something that will affect our country. Because when President Weah sent a bill to the House to get those tenure positions out, you heard people, you heard lawmakers saying that President Weah was trying to be a dictator. And the Supreme Court even ruled in favor of Martin. And the government had to pay Martin off. And I think that was the only position that President Weah ever tempered with. But even maritime, those people that had tenure position,
you know, and this is where we are. This is exactly what I was about going to, Vasco. There is this debate that's ongoing now that folks from the CDC, folks like you, should not be mentioning or going anywhere near this whole tenure position discussion. You should not be found anywhere around it. How do the guys say it? Even an inch around this whole tenure position, because President Weah, when he came in power at about this time, just about this time, 6 years ago, President Weah embarked on a journey to scrap tenure positions, to get rid of some of those people who occupy tenure positions. Yeah, okay, you just stated one, the Martin thing. But Martin was just the recent one before President Weah exited the stage. All right? Before leaving the stage, you had so many issues with tenure positions. One of the notable ones was the one with how do you call the guy? Isaac Jackson. All right? Isaac Jackson, who was the permanent representative at the IMO, and he was replaced by Moses Owen Brown. And this issue went wild. His passport was not renewed. He cried, and SYZ, he said a lot how his family was being deprived and so on. So now I'm going to bring you a publication here. I'm reading something here on the Daily Observer newspaper. This article was published. This article was published in 2023. All right, but it went back on some of those actions when it comes to with respect to this whole tenure position thing. President Weah bent on exiting tenure positions. That's the headline right here. I'm going to put this one up. So, Vasco, from this backdrop, a lot of people say that someone like Vasco, who comes from the CDC, should not be having a conversation about tenure position.
No, Nelson. I mean, I'm a Liberian. I have to give my view. But look, every government, that's why when the CDC government came in, they felt that, we have to put our people, we want to work along with our people. But today, these people, the same group of people that are in power right now, they were making all the larger noise all over the place. The Senator DeLong, everybody. And then what President Weah was doing, President Weah he wasn't doing it the way the United Party doing. President Weah not just appointing people at the very position while they had other people already serving. President Weah decided to pass through the House, send a bill. And that bill, it all went through. And the guy maintained his position, or he was paid off, rather. But today, look at what's happening. Sedition was said this is a witch hunt. Look, President Walker is one of the experienced person. How long will it take you to call Glasgow, to call all these people that have in a turning position, sit with them, talk to them, so look, if you people already have money to pay them off, sit with them, talk to them, so look, you guys did a great job, but now this is a new government, and we don't want to put our own people there, so we can negotiate, and we're going to pay you guys off. But to leave those people in those positions and start appointing, you just mentioned the lottery, but you also read the one from the LTA too, and you listen to what the senators are saying. The senators are saying they will confirm, they will not even have any confirmation hearing for any of these people that Baga appointing to those turning position that people already occupy. Until the United Party legal team can go back, or the advisor to go back and put the house in order and come back to us. This is a shame. I don't know how you guys look at, you guys support the United Party. And for me, I expect this.
So yeah. You who support the CDC. All right, you as a supporter of the CDC.
Yeah.
How do you look at this? You as a supporter of the CDC.
No,
someone who campaigned,
thank you,
who sat on this platform and tried to convince the Liberian people about the CDC. How do you look at this, Vasco?
Nelson, this is
how
terrible.
do you look at this? Now, right on the screen here. How do you look at this? No. If you see the caption down there, forget about the headline. Go to the first paragraph. It says,
"You're getting me?
Are we getting you?" It says, President Weah has renewed his push for the 54th legislature to approve a bill calling for the cancellation of tenure positions within the executive. How do you look at this, Vasco?
Can you guys get me now?
Oh, so the picture came on the screen and you automatically lost connection. You see that supplementary approach is not who was.
That's it. If I may.
Yeah, please go ahead. Take a minute. Vasco, log out and try to log in.
Article 89 of the Constitution is being misinterpreted by the legal advisor to the president. When he made mention that
well, before going into that interpretation thing, just know that this man you want to interpret the thing to is a legal practitioner.
Look, no one has monopoly over knowledge. Let me make that clear.
But there are people who have expertise in certain areas.
I agree with you. But now, why I say he was misinterpreting the Constitution when he tried to limit the idea fully expressed in Article 89 to say that only the 3 autonomous agencies that have been established by law, when it comes to tenure, that they cannot hammer, that they can touch. The Article 89 reads, it says the following autonomous public commission are hereby established: Civil Service, Election Commission, General Audit Commission. Then go forward to say the legislature shall enact laws for the governance of this commission and create other agencies as may be necessary. And create other agencies as may be necessary for the effective operation of government. That's why we have NAFA. That's why we have the National Identification Registry. In fact, the president have no legal right to dismiss the executive director, because the executive director is not appointed by the president. He's appointed by the board of directors through a vetting process, through the
Yeah, and he said he was vetted. Andrew Peters said he was vetted and
You
all of that.
understand?
So thank you, Alfred.
Let me
That's a great point. That's a
So
great
if
point.
you go to
We didn't go across the
created
table. We didn't-
the National Identification Registry, it says that in 5.3 it reads, the executive director shall be appointed by the board of registrars and shall have a term of 4 years and shall be eligible for reappointment. That's why it says. So this is a tuning position. The president has no right. He has no legal right.
Let me end quick,
to dismiss or replace that individual.
Okay, thank you.
It's placed right within the board of directors. That's the board of directors' job. In fact, the board of directors can only be dismissed by the president because he appointed them. But when it comes to the executive director, the president has no right. He has no legal right to do it.
And so I'm gonna come back to you. Alfred. But Vasco, you want to end up quickly, so let's take
me end up. Look, I mean, as a very mature government that want to see good governance, look, these people are Liberian. This is not a CDC government. This is a Unity Party government. These people won't do anything to undermine the Unity Party government. What would take Mr. Baka to allow these people?
So you want the people to keep their job? You want the people to keep their jobs under the Unity Party administration?
Definitely. Because
you really mean that, Vasco? You really mean you want those people to keep their jobs?
Yeah, look, if this thing go through, Nelson, if this
listen to this. Listen to this.
This is why after we win, we're not appoint any Unity Party government.
Did you see that, Vasco? No. Maybe you did not see that, Vasco. Vasco, you are planting apples and expecting to harvest a coconut. No. I want you to listen to this again. This is Mr. Lane Eugene Nangwe, former Commissioner Maritime, former Information Minister, one of the stone supporters, in fact, the head of the whole CDC campaign for this going election. Listen again to what he had to say.
And this is why after we win, we're not appoint any Unity Party government.
Vasco, after one of your stalwarts within the CDC made this comment publicly, then you come back on this platform, Vasco, to tell Liberian people that Unity Party is in total error. In fact, the people are supposed to keep their jobs and all of that. Did you condemn the statement when Eugene Nangwe made that particular comment?
You never made a statement based. You never made a statement to target people who serve in tyranny position. Because President, we didn't do it. I mean, I can.
This is why after we win, we're not appoint any Unity Party government.
Unity Party.
Yeah.
Whether you get tenure, whether you get tenure. Any Unity Party partisan. I mean, this is even worse than what we're seeing coming.
Yeah, but then will come to the president. You listen to the president's speech. The president said, the election is over. There is no blue state, or there is no blue state, there is no green state. So we are all Liberians.
Yes, brother. Thank you. We are all Liberians, but you sent out a caveat that you not employ any.
Like this.
No, you're not any. You're not any, Vasco. Let's move to Magnus.
Let me even one second because I get you all my time. And all these things are happening because the people, the advisor, I don't know whether you saw the legal advisor on foreign affairs that cannot even walk. He cannot even hold a Bible. These are the people Baka putting around him. So some of these decisions coming up, and the Supreme Court will step on all of these things. Because the Supreme Court know that they are proceeding the wrong way. If they
thank you. That's what you did, Vasco. Magnus, please come in, then we'll take Cindy. Magnus, please go ahead. Let's hear your take on this issue, Magnus. Andrew Peters said.
Thank you, Nelson. I mean, so before I go further, I want to say, the Constitution is very clear. The president is the head of state and the chief executive. And the executive agenda of the country is being driven by the president. And everyone working in the executive works at the will and pleasure of the president, right? And now, see, the president made a statement, I think, in his annual address when he made mention of the National Identification Registry and how he wants to shape the National Identification Registry to kind of collect information and make it more vibrant, right? And with that, the president has the right, as the chief executive, as the man who is driving the executive agenda of the country, to be able to appoint people who will work at his will and pleasure. All right. So if there are positions, all right, that he knows that will drive the executive agenda of the country forward, that he needs, that certain position that he needs, strategic position that he needs to drive the executive agenda, his executive agenda, he has to make decisions in that regard. So
even at the detriment of tenure,
hold
you
on.
think so?
So then, the Edward Clark Martin case set it perfectly for the president. You listen to the legal advisor of the president. If you were not campaigning and you were caught in our web, we will compensate you. There is no need for Andrew Peter to go be running to the court. Start sticking that job. Be asking for your compensation.
No. Again, Magnus. Andrew Peters is saying, Andrew Peters, his concern is not about the money.
What is it?
His concern is about the procedure, the legality of this entire process.
Quantify the illegal procedure.
Okay.
The illegal procedure.
So he's not concerned about the money.
What makes it illegal?
Andrew Peters may be one man. He might just be one man sitting in one corner saying that, look, money or no money, I want the right thing to be done.
Nothing. What is the right thing? The right thing is, if you're removing a man, compensate him. That's the right thing.
No, in his own definition, the right thing is he should be given the opportunity, the time to complete his tenure. That's what he wants.
So Nelson, then when I said in my opening statement, the reason why I made that statement in my opening statement, I was very strategic. The president is the chief executive of the Republic of Liberia. He drafted the executive agenda of the country. His vision is what is driving the executive. So if the president, in his own wisdom, feels that Andrew Peters, as head of the National Identification Registry, will not be the right person to drive the executive agenda of the president through the National Identification Registry, I mean, the president has the right, according to law, to remove him and compensate him. So if the president refuses to compensate Andrew Peters, then we have a problem. But I don't think
where does the right comes in? Where does that right come in? And I want you to be straight to the point on this one, Magnus. Where does the right come in?
The right comes in because the president...
the right for the president to do that. Where does it come in? Because I want to look at this thing from a point where I want to look at it from the point where this thing has a process. They say for you to get at the back door, you must pass through the front door, use the corridor, and get at the back door.
Yeah.
Then you won't get at the back door. You say, no, you won't use the door. You won't pass through the window. You won't break through the window to get, that's how Andrew Peters on one hand is looking at this whole thing.
No, Nelson. The analogy is wrong. The analogy is wrong. The reason why I say the analogy is wrong is there is no process. The court did not, or the Constitution did not prescribe any process to say before you remove a person and compensate them, you should go through a process. The only process they outline is if the person is found guilty of violating the code of conduct, like people who are campaigning, they should be given due process before they can be removed. But if the president feels in his power or in his wisdom that Mr. Peters, as head of the National Identification Registry, cannot move the executive agenda of the country because Mr. Peters were just here campaigning for George Weah, and you listen to Eugene Nangbe. So how sure is the president that Mr. Peters will not be there and be dragging? Like you see the central bank now. Everybody who were in the CDC government before trying to plug loopholes or retard issues or retard the progress of the government. So if the president, as the chief executive, feel in his wisdom that the National Identification Registry need another person to draft the agenda, because the president made it clear in his State of the Nation address that the National Identification Registry is a key institution, and he wants, because
let's go political with this thing a bit. Then we take Cindy. Let's go political. Your leader whole legality. In fact, Councillor Jerome Verde says he would love to come on to make some points on this from the league, to provide some legal interpretation to some of these things. We'll bring him on at the end of this particular talking point. But let's go political a bit. The National Identification Registry is a major data collection center across the country.
Yes.
So you talk about the National Elections Commission. Forget that, it's just during election time. But the VATA statistics, where people do the birth certificate.
Yeah.
You talk about the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the passport division.
Yes.
The National Identification Registry sort of covers all. In fact, there are so many Liberians who do not have passports, but they have the national ID card.
Yeah.
You know, so that place being a very strategic data collection center, don't you think that the president, or is it fair to say that the president is looking at this thing from a point where, look, we cannot have this strategic area be occupied by maybe a sedition, for example, considering the statement made by using.
And that's why after we win, we not appoint any unity Palestinian.
Apparently, there was a motive, or whatever, for that statement. Is it fair to say that maybe looking at it using the political lens to digest this whole thing, that maybe the president sees it very, very risky to have someone who is not a Unity Party partisan to occupy that?
Nelson. I can't get the exact statement of the president from the State of the Nation address, that exact line. But what the president intends for the National Identification Registry is to make it a data center, not just place to go collect a national identification ID. So because when you collect this information, and you build a data center, the police will be able to feed on that information. The immigration will be able to feed on that information, because it is a data center where you have information about people, right? It's not just about election time or to register people, right? But Nelson, let's just look at it. Like some of the people that are here, right? Right? When you enter the US, right, you have your social security number, right? And everything about you, your record, everything about you is attached to that social security number. I think that's the vision of the president for the National Identification Registry.
Thank you.
I think the president thinks that Andrew Peters, who was appointed because MPP wanted a position, and they were
No.
Nelson,
you said he was voted.
Nelson, we were all here.
The board is appointed by the president. The board does the voting. How then will you say that this man went to that position because of Moya? I will say
Nelson, we're all here. Nelson, we're all here on it. Andrew Peter appointed 3 months of the election. 3 months of the election.
So do you think he was planted? He was planted strategically in that area.
No, he was just giving that position to soothe him, to quiet him, because after they were making noise about appointment MPP are not represented in the government, just we are giving that something. And the second issue is he was giving a position for him to be able to stand down for Bill 12 to contest the river, because he was also contesting.
Thank you, Magnus. Mr. Jirawu Cindy, it's good to have you on here, sir. And you've been following the conversation, everything about this tenure situation in the country, and what it has resulted to. This is, and I stand to be corrected on this one. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but this is, if not the first, one of the earliest lawsuits against the executive branch of government. One of the first lawsuits against the executive branch of government. Andrew Peter has dragged the government to court. Now he says that he's being unlawfully, illegally removed from a position that he should be serving in. He presented a 13-count petition to the Supreme Court, praying that court to restrain the executive branch of government from illegally and unlawfully removing him from his office as the National Identification Registry Executive Director. Well, the court has placed a halt on the entire process immediately. Now, let's hear from you. Where do you stand on this? Is this good for our democracy? Is this the right way to go for a government that a lot of people, so many Liberians across the world, saw as a very experienced government that would bring about the kind of change, erect the necessary checkpoints, and make sure that governance and democracy flourishes in a setting like Liberia? Is it a good way to start?
Well, Nelson, it's good to be here. Good evening to all of you. If we can mute, please. I'm hearing some background noise.
Yeah, Alfred, you have to mute.
Thank you. Look, Nelson, we have a country of law. Liberia is a country of law. We have separation of power. No one branch of our government has the absolute authority on everything. And that's why we have the Supreme Court of Liberia to define the laws. So I'm glad that the case has been taken to court. And I will hope that the Supreme Court, as a separate branch of government, will come in to define exactly what the law says, what the Constitution says, Article 56A, versus what the law that established, or the code of conduct that established tenure position says. So I'm looking forward to that. But let's get to the issue, right? In our country, the president does not have the authority to directly remove an individual from government office that has a tenure position. That is the fact. And I'm not saying this based on politics. I'm saying this based on the law we have in the country. Now, why are tenure positions established? They were meant to really provide a degree of insulation from political influence so that an individual who occupied that position would not be dismissed based on political influence. And that's why, Nelson, it's very important that people we put into tenure position are professional and that they are not political guru, that they are not those that we will see on campaign trail insulting other political leaders or bringing division into our politics. They must be professional, people that are not politically motivated to serve their country, that they have some level of qualification, professional qualification that will enable them to serve without political influence. So they establish that. But coming back to tenure position, there are some instances, Nelson, where based on our law, the president may withdraw tenure position based on Article 56 of our law, which says that when you are in a tenure position, you should not be directly and publicly affiliated with political campaign. So if that is the argument of President Bouaka and his cabinet, then let the Supreme Court decide. Let them tell us whether individuals that are being pointed out or being removed, did they go against the Article 56, which clearly outlined that when you are put in a position, government cabinet, that you should not be directly involved with political campaign. If that is not the case, then those people like this brother from the National Registry or the Identification Registry may have a case. I don't want to come out here tonight as an expert. I want to come out here talking about the law and let the law take its course. I'm seeing people in the comment section, some of my friends, they're talking about, oh, the CDC did it. We have a country, my people. If we are serious about running Liberia in the right direction, we should not be pointing our finger backward. Let's always speak in the line of our law. Let's talk about what the law we have on book. There are reasons why we have the Constitution and why we have code of conduct that govern the law. I mean, our country. So I would say it is a good thing that a Liberian would say, I feel cheated. I should not be removed from my position because the law backed me to maintain my position.
You know, it's a good thing. It's a good thing, Cindy, that you're talking about the law. And US Visa, one of our followers, one of those in the comment section, US Visa is saying, panelists, the law is the law. Let the president follow the law and forget about political party issues. The focus points should be respecting the law. Now, from all of what we're seeing play out here, I mean, whether it's about, I mean, the tenure, the process, and all of that, do you see in any way, do you see the law in any way being violated here? Do you see any sign of some sort of political undertone in what is going on, Cindy? I mean, from just your own analysis of things. I mean, you are a panelist on the show. You are a Liberian. You are entitled to your view, and you have what do the politicians say? The whale waiter. You have the whale waiter. Let me sound like Alfred and former Mayor Jefferson Kochi. You have the whale waiter to make your own analysis on those issues here. I mean, do you sense any political undertone in all of what's playing out here?
Alfred and Kochi, they own a voice. We can't find any dictionary, but let me move on. Look, Nelson, my position is very clear.
Yeah.
I am a professional. I'm not a politician.
Yeah.
I'm a law-abiding citizen.
Mm-hmm.
Let the law be the law. Do I sense politics? Unfortunately, in our country, we like to put politics into everything.
Mm-hmm.
We like to bring politics into everything. But I do not want to accuse any side of the aisle to say that there's a politics involved. I mean, if you listen to the president legal advisor, he is referencing the Constitution. He is referencing an article in our Constitution that forbade cabinet members, especially those in tenure position, from being directly involved in politics.
So you think the law is at work? There's absolutely nothing.
If you listen to his debate, you will say, okay, he's quoting article. But then again, if you're listening to the brother from the identification registry, he also outlining some key constitutional issues here. That's why we have the Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia. And I'm glad that the court has put pause to a confirmation hearing. The court is saying, stop confirmation hearing. Let's look into this matter to decide who is wrong or who is right. And we will tell you, government, Mr. President Bwaka, if you are right, or we'll tell you, the other parties, if you are right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let the Nelson, let me end on this. Let the Supreme Court decide. But I will say this, Nelson, I am looking at the responsibilities of the National Identification Registry. And I'm shaking my head. And I'm like, this is another agency we are wasting our time in. Why do we have a separate agency where we are paying people just to issue ID card, just to issue birth certificate, why?
Nelson, can I make a point?
Why?
Why
the ID card cannot be issued, for instance, where the driver license are being issued, which is the Ministry of Transport? Why the birth certificate cannot be issued under the department through the Ministry of Health? Why do we need a whole government branch to issue ID card and birth certificates?
Vital statistics actually falls under the Ministry of Health. It falls under the Ministry of Health. Yeah.
So that whole committee, that whole department is under the Ministry of Health?
Separate, yeah. That's under the Ministry of Health. But interestingly, you can just go there and say, like Cindy, looking at your face now, you tell people at 20 years old.
Probably I'm handsome, so I look 20, so they will delete it.
No, you handsome, so you pray, go tell me 30 years old.
Yeah, Nelson.
Thank you, Cindy. But it's interesting. I know you want to make a quick point. But we gotta get Alfred Yafanda coming in. But take a quick 20 seconds.
Yes, I mean, I want to speak to the point Sandy made. I mean, we are looking at the National Identification Registry in a wrong way, with the wrong eye. That institution, if we really work that institution, it will be one of the most important institutions if we really utilize the full power of that institution. It is one of the most important institutions in Liberia. Let me give you an example, right? The National Identification Registry is not just about collecting ID or issuing ID. We're looking at the bigger picture of the data.
It's a data center.
It's a data center. The world now is transitioning to a data economy. Data is information. Data, based on data, you know how to plan your development strategy, how to carry out your development. So the president in his statement said he will empower the National Identification Registry so that National Election Commission can feed on, and Ministry of Justice, police, immigration, whosoever can feed on that.
Thank you.
So that when you go register your business, I mean, in America, just imagine, Sandy, as soon as you put in your social security number, your police record, everything about you comes out. That's the president's vision for the National Identification Registry.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So let's okay, quickly, Alfred. Quickly, then we'll bring the other Alfred in.
Nelson, you at a certain point you said we should talk politically. I think the reason why you see Liberia is behind, number one, we do not respect our laws. That's why we don't have strong institutions. Why you want to remove someone if you created a law and you say the board of directors shall appoint an executive director through a vetting process, through the civil service. Then all of a sudden, you get up because you say you get the constitution say you got the power to appoint, you got the power to dismiss. Then you want to dismiss people. We gotta be serious here to build our country where the institution will work. We should not be the whole issue about giving too much presidential power. I think it's been misused over the years.
Thank you, Alfred.
Alfred, the president to remove any position was set for that Edward Martin case. So the president has the power. The Supreme Court gives the president the power. The only thing you have to compensate the people. That's all.
Thank you.
But you're saying you're not even compensating the people.
No, Vasco.
The one in our campaign will not get in nothing.
They're compensating the people.
The one in our campaign will not give in nothing.
Now what the law say?
Emma Glasgow, don't bad forget it. And she'll pass the CDC.
If you break the law, they don't compensate
but you still gotta negotiate with them.
Vasco, if you break the law, they won't compensate you. They just remove you.
I want you to read that part.
Which part?
The part I said when you break the law, they won't compensate you.
Come on, Vasco. Come on, man.
To the code of conduct. Go to section 5.
Let's take Alfred. Alfred, please go ahead. Yeah, Fanda. Let's hear you.
Thank you for having me, Nelson. You see, what we are looking at here is we have a constitution.
So right after Alfred, we'll bring in Councillor Verder to close up this talking point. We move to our next point quickly. But go ahead, Alfred.
What we are looking out here is that we have a constitution and we have a Supreme Court. We can sit here and give our point of views. We can talk and then continue talking for the rest of the day. The Supreme Court will determine what is the right and what is wrong in this case. But one thing I want us to understand is that we have a country that do not respect laws. Liberia is a country that do not even respect the constitution. They gave justice to some people that they want to give justice to, and then they look at some people, they do not even give them justice. So at this point, what we have to do as a country, Joseph Walker have already made his decision, and then he have a lawsuit. Okay, all of us are aware of that. But then you and I do not know what happened before we get to the lawsuit. Maybe he have spoken to them or he has not. I do not know. So I would think that the Supreme Court will determine, and then we'll get the clear understanding through the Supreme Court, because that is the only thing we can look up to at this junction. I think that's all I have to contribute, because we can give our point of view for the rest of the day. We are not going to get the clear understanding until the court determine.
Okay, so Alfred, thank you. That's a great point right there. He's looking up to see what comes out from the Supreme Court, which is very important. But at the end of the day, as Liberians, we can make analysis around those issues. You know, we can pull 1 + 1 and 2 + 2 together. Now we have Councilor Verdier, a seasoned legal practitioner in our country, one of the best brains in Liberia when it comes to the interpretation of legal issues. He's a legal mind. Council, I want to say welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much, Nelson. I'm glad to participate again. I've listened, I've heard a lot of very, very profoundly accurate and wise views expressed.
Mm-hmm.
But let's start from the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Firstly, the Supreme Court set the precedence. When it does one thing, it is difficult for me to distract from that process or that precedent. In the case of President Weah, the Supreme Court said he has the right to fire anybody because the Constitution says you can fire anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I disagree with the Supreme Court. But President JMB is saying, well, since the Supreme Court said I have the right to do it, so I will use that same authority from the Supreme Court and I will do it. So the Supreme Court, all those cases they are carrying there, will be forced to follow the precedents it has established. Then let's look at tenure. Not every position should be tenure. That's where President Weah went wrong also. And Sandy raised a very, very point. Tenure positions are meant to protect the officials, to secure them from political influence or public pressure.
Yeah.
That's why they are tenured. It means that the function they are performing can likely be influenced by politics or from pressure of the society. So not all positions fall in that category. I look at the EPA, for example. They were granted tenure. It's just a form of, as you see it, a form of giving jobs to partisans.
Wow.
The National Registry, as important as it is, that registry, I think, is envisioned to be integrated into the whole Elections Commission thing and our metric and vital statistics, as was mentioned. But it has not been integrated yet. And if you see how the Elections Commission went to announcing results in terms of, it was not Elections Commission, who did it, the population census.
Yeah, that's the Legis.
Population in the southeast was more than the population density in the west and the central region, where we have more children and a higher birth rate. That was identified. The man who was head of the registry resigned And they say he wanted to go and contest in elections in Sano. I don't know how true is that. But somebody here just identified that the purpose for appointing Andrews was political. They wanted him to give way into Bagubay Jr. That's not a reason people should be giving him tenure. So tenure with the Elections Commission is okay. Tenure with the LACC because it's dealing with corruption is also okay. But as valid as that tenure was, the Supreme Court still went ahead and authorized the president to remove Mountain. And as you were saying, it is not about compensation. It's about the process and the procedure. And this is where President Boyka is also coming in, and he's proceeding wrongly also. But he is being backed by the Supreme Court. If I was advising him, I would say follow the legal procedure. And the rules governing tenure position is not in the Constitution. It is in the Act creating those entities. And no president should have absolute power to just break the law anytime as he feels. The president is not a king. The Supreme Court said President Weah could do it, President Weah did it. The Supreme Court is not saying President Biden can do it, so President Biden is going to do it. It is wrong. That's not how we should do. The president takes the oath to protect the statutes and the laws of the country. You should protect it. If the law is wrong or you want to change it, you follow the same procedure, you go back and have it changed. So that's the situation where the Supreme Court was wrong and it started it. President Weah was wrong, it continued, and because of that, President Boyka also following suit is wrong in the eyes of the law. But President Boyka, most importantly, is following the precedent that the Supreme Court have already established. So he will come out and say, no, I'm doing anything. The Supreme Court said I can do it. But like somebody said, let's wait and hear what the Supreme Court will say. If I was there, I would tell the Supreme Court, follow your own precedents. Or change your previous law and set the record straight. The president doesn't have absolute power to break any law in Liberia.
Now, Counsel, I want us to go a little bit into this other aspect. Now, we have seen over the two administrations from President George Weah. When he came in, there was similar back and forth with respect to tenure positions. He tried to temper with, even trying to pass through the legislature. And then we are seeing after 6 years, about this time, it was happening. And then after 6 years, we're seeing another back and forth with respect to tenure positions. This administration, again, after President George Weah did same. What do you think is the permanent solution for this whole back and forth with tenure positions? Because from what we've seen, there's no guarantee that we're not going to see the repeat of what's happening now, maybe 6 years from now, in the case where this administration is changed. So what do you think is the permanent solution? Is it prudent enough to have the government to follow the process and amend the very laws, be it the Constitution or whatever that has created room for these tenure positions? Or is it just fair that maybe we continue on this path? What do you think is the permanent solution that will avoid this back and forth with respect to tenure, no tenure, and all of what we've seen over the time?
Analysts have already identified the solution. Let's stick to the rule of law. The law is not made for one time or for another time. The law is made for all times. The law is not made for you or for me. The law is made for everybody. Every law that is made is meant to cure a defect or an evil in society. That's why the tenure laws have been imposed or inserted into these acts. For example, the TRLC. If we were not tenured on the TRLC, we would have been removed before our job was completed. The president then called me twice. Said, "How can we make changes on the TRLC? We want to make changes." I said, Mr. President, Madam President, it's impossible to do so. You just got to follow the law if you want to make changes. And the law is so and so and so and so. That's how that issue was handled. In the case of the LACC and Councillor Martin, as a way of getting rid of Councillor Martin very illegally, even with the amendment of the act that they used, it was still illegal. That's why the Supreme Court said, go and compensate him. But that was not the issue.
No.
They amended the LACC law and brought in the criminal code in terms of the corruption code.
Mm-hmm.
But yet still, that government did not follow up with the corruption code. In the new law that came out with, it says the corruption code must be established. And they used that as a basis for removing Councillor Martin. So it was wrong.
Wow.
So the bottom line is just to stick to the rule of law.
Okay.
The Supreme Court didn't follow the rule of law to respect the statutory laws. They went and extended it to make it constitutional. That was wrong.
Okay. So Alfred has a question. Then we.
Yeah,
And
Councillor Verla, good evening and welcome to the show. I was arguing
Thank
earlier.
you, Alfred.
Yes, I was arguing earlier from the statement made by Councillor Keita when he tried to limit Article 89 of the Constitution to just the 3 statutory agencies that were created at the inception of the Constitution. Do you agree with that assertion when he says that those agencies that were not established by the Constitution, the president has the right to remove people who are on attorney position, as it is clearly stated here that the legislature shall have the right to establish other agencies for the effective operation of government. Do you agree with that assertion?
I don't agree with him. I agree with you. The Constitution authorizes legislature to make laws as and when it is necessary. So I don't agree with the presidential advisor. He was just looking for an excuse to support a political decision. I will support the president doing it by saying the Supreme Court has already decided that he can do it. That's what they're doing. But if I was the president's advisor, I would tell him to be cautious of the law. And if you look in the act establishing those so-called or establishing all tenure positions, you are not supposed to be political or partisan. You are not supposed to behave wrongly. You are not supposed to take another job. So all those are conditions for removing them. And the law will say with cause. Now, in my case, when I went to the TRC, I had to suspend my law practice. I had to stop everything I was doing in civil society. Of course, I was not a politician, not a partisan. I had to cut off all of that. And so Prabhu was a politician. She was a member of the True Party. She suspended her membership with the True Party. And other people who were there and had position in other political organizations, they did. And no TRC member campaign. And that's the same thing with all tenure positions. It's supposed to be neutral and deserve the high status that the legislature is giving you. So the presidential advisor was very, very wrong. He was just looking for a political justification or a legal justification for the action of the president. And if I were him, I would just restrict myself to say, well, the Supreme Court started it, so the president is continuing along with the Supreme Court.
Wow. Well, Councillor Verla, thank you, sir. We appreciate you for showing up and weighing in some legal expertise on this issue. Any other thing you want to say just before we let you go, sir?
Just that I wish you all a blessed new week. And the deliberations are good. That's why I stick to it. I appreciate every comment. But like we have identified, I come with the legal side. And thank you for accepting my input. I will always be available.
Okay, so just before we let you go, one of our followers on YouTube, Lynn Lacour, has a question. He says, please ask the Councillor Nelson if a statute overrides it, if a statute overrides it because the Constitution Let me get it coming because the Constitution already defines tenure positions that are protected by it, and anyone else works at the will and pleasure of the president. So did you get his question?
Yeah, the substance of his question.
Yeah.
Because everybody works at the will and pleasure of the president, that is why tenure positions are created to restrict the will and pleasure of the president.
Okay.
Those who work at the will and pleasure of the president are his cabinet ministers. And he has enough people that work at his will and pleasure. But for specific reason, to identify an ill in society, that's why those people are given tenure to do specific work. And tenure positions are not indefinite. They're not supposed to be for a long term. Okay? If you take the LACC, for example, it is meant to address corruption and bring corrupt people to book so that impunity can stop. All of us will agree that corruption is a major problem in Liberia, irrespective of who is president, and that impunity and injustice is a major problem in Liberia. And in Liberia, we don't follow the rule of law. In Liberia, we don't grant justice to whom justice is deserved. That is why you see the LACC, the Elections Commission, the Central Bank, and the PBCC are all established to eradicate corruption from our society. And so, the act creating them is saying that the president cannot interfere with this. If you want to interfere, let it be for a reason. These people are not your regular cabinet ministers.
Wow.
They are not your regular cabinet ministers. Yeah, so you cannot interfere. The Constitution, as the person on Facebook said, it's the supreme law. But this Constitution also gives right to the legislature to make laws in certain instances, like in a case of tenure. So the president cannot be a king, like the Supreme Court is trying to say the president can do it, cancel any law and just pay the people. No.
Okay.
Fire your officials and you want to pay them, that's okay, it's up to you. But those who are professionals and hired by the state to do professional work, you have to respect their tenure.
Okay, sir. Thank you, Councilor Brother. We appreciate you for showing up here tonight, and you are always welcome. And we'll appreciate if you were to make up time and speak to some of those legal issues whenever the time arises. We appreciate you, sir.
Definitely, I appreciate you guys, and thank you very much, Nelson, for bringing me on.
Okay, sir.
Thank you and good night.
Okay. So, guys, this is where we are. This is where we are. I don't think we have the luxury of time to go to our next talking point. We're about to take calls now on this, but Alfred, let's do quick 20 seconds around across the table. Let's start with Francis. Alfred, you've been talking a whole lot. Let's start with Francis. Let's do quick 20 seconds around the table.
I mean, this whole tenure thing, I know everybody beating it, so I'm glad at the Supreme Court. But for me, all I'm saying is, if somebody is not performing, I mean, I know it may not be lawful because the Constitution doesn't say it, but for lack of performance, we can't repeat the mistakes of the past.
Can we mute Alfred? Can you kindly mute?
Every term, the country is supposed to be moving forward. So if somebody is in a tenure position, but that person is not performing, that person is incompetent, the person should be removed.
Okay.
I don't care if they pay them or not; they should be removed because our country cannot afford to be set back.
Thank you, Alfred. You know, Alfred, if you were a politician, sorry, not Francis. Oh, you don't want to be called Alfred?
No.
Francis, if you were a politician, one of the commenters said it. Is that if you were a politician, your political career would have just gone down the drain.
Yeah, because I'm not kissing nobody behind. I'm not kissing nobody behind. No.
Let's take Magnus. Magnus, quickly. Let's hear you.
Yeah, I mean, Nelson, I think the councillor laid my point very clear and made it clear. The thing is, President, we are already opening the floodgate with that Councillor Ella Clark Martin case. So President Barker is just using the precedent that the Supreme Court said. So, I mean, until the Supreme Court can come back and tell us that, okay, we're stopping this, that you can't remove a tenure officer or you can remove somebody from a tenure position, then, I mean, then until then, I think the president is proceeding rightly.
Thank you.
But nobody should come here and say, oh, it's because of politics. I have always said the president in his wisdom is saying, or president is saying that president thinks that Peters cannot drive his agenda at the National Identification Registry. So, sir, we'll move you, we'll compensate you as the deal as CDC did with Councilor Ella Clark Martin will compensate you. Go sit down.
Thank you.
That's all.
Sandy?
There were two major points made by the counselor, and I appreciate his expertise on this topic. He made reference to why Magnus made reference to the proceeding by the Supreme Court, but then he also clearly outlined that the Supreme Court did not rule in the right direction based on our laws. So that's what I want to focus on, that second part. We are a country of law. Our Supreme Court should not be politically influenced. And that's why they are a separate branch of government. The people we put over there, the lawyer, you went to school, our simple librarian, you went to school, you get educated so you can serve your country.
No, you want to say simple librarian, don't say educated. You went to school, you know both.
You know both. You take LU from bypass, you know your book. Let the president not influence you, can't give you money, then you start doing the wrong thing. Go and serve your country.
Thank you.
I think that's the problem we have.
Sandy, that your content looking for now, me and you. Instead of go collect money.
We will enjoy our country when our separate branches of government start to work independently in the interest of the Liberian people. Our country will be nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Vasco, your 20 seconds on this quickly, sir.
Yeah, I mean, for me, this is a legal issue, so some of we don't know the law, so we will not go in there too much. But what I want to say is this. And I always listen to most of the people that support the Unity Party. If Joshua did it wrongly yesterday, so the man that is coming to rescue all the mess that Joshua left, then when he using going with the same procedure that Joshua went with, and then y'all sit down and he'll be saying, oh, I think he's proceeding the right way. Oh, this man is the man that's supposed to fix the mess. But for what we have observed in the 1 month, everything is just messed up. They even the court of conduct, the man is the man, the president is the one that breaking all the laws in the country. You have a party chairman still holding position in the party. He get a man job he gave the party SG. And those people also fall within the code of conduct. You can't be holding a job in the party.
Vasco.
Yeah.
So someone is asking the question as to when did you realize this? When Jefferson Koji was Secretary General of the CDC, but at the same time mayor of the city of Monrovia. When did you realize this?
Nelson, Vasco, let me rescue you on this one.
Nelson, check the fact.
Vasco, hold on. Vasco, give me 1 second. Nelson, nobody is asking you that question.
Listen.
You are doing what I am against. You keep going back. Yes. As a country, are we not going to keep going back? Are we going to keep going back?
And that's the point.
Keep making reference to the
That's the point. No, the background of this question. No, the background of this question is it comes from the famous saying that says, "He who preaches equity must come with clean hands." What's the moral standing? What's the moral or a waywetter. Let me sound like Mayor Jefferson Koji and Alfred Konowa Smoke. What's the political waywetter that Vasco has to push the government on this issue?
Nelson,
look,
Nelson, like
No,
I
no,
can always say,
you're not
the
interrupting.
Unity Party-led government
You're not
has
interrupting Vasco Magnus.
Nelson, all I'm saying here today, look, this was the reason why you guys kicked us out of power. Because we were not doing it the right way. And we agreed. Now the people that you brought that's supposed to face all the mess, but they are even increasing the mess. That is our point. So where are we going? They may talk about arrest, not arrest. You are just playing an interview the president, talk about the rule of law, the this and that. But today he's breaking almost everything. Some of the appointment Baga making, you don't even have the right to appoint people to those places. Look
Thank
at
you.
Look at the man he appointed to the port in Bikino. He was not the one supposed to do that appointment. I said, Baga, everything the president just messing everything up.
Thank you, Vasco. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Brother Alfred Yafanda, let's hear you. Yeah, 20 seconds on this one quickly.
You know, one of the panelists said, if these people are not functioning, we can compensate them and appoint another person in this position. But where are we going to get the funding? If we're thinking about compensating somebody today and then we appoint another person in this position, where are we going to get the money? Where is the government going to get the money to do this? So I think what we have already, all of us are already making point. All of us are already giving our point of view. And then the councillor said, those are professionals that were elected in this position. But in case these people are not doing their job according to the certificate, according to the certification of the country, so are they going to remain there until their term, or they can just be fired and then it remain in vain?
Yeah. Thank you.
I think we just have to think wisely. We see where are we going as a country, because we keep on fighting ourselves for no reason, and we are all Liberians.
Thank you. Alfred, take us to the phone line. Finally, 20 seconds.
Thank you so much, Nelson. There's a cliche in public policy that says something that is not done properly is not done at all, right? We bash on George Weah around here for violating the laws. I do not expect that Joseph Boakai, having spent 28, 30 years in government, will be the one that will be leading the charge to disrespect our laws. Look, he who comes with equity must come with clean hand. Okay? The issue about tenure, the president should use his moral discretion to understand that we need professionals in our institutions. The reason why you see Liberia is backward is because we don't have institutions. Every president that comes is the most powerful president in the country. No one can disagree with the president. We should do away with those kind of things in our country. Joseph Boakai is the last line of individuals who have ever come to power from the 1940s. He has to leave his legacy. He has to leave his legacy. That's why some of us put our everything on the line to make sure that he comes to power.
Thank you. We have calls coming in now.
Yeah, Nelson, 10 seconds. Nelson, I beg you, 10 seconds. 10 seconds. I mean, everybody's saying here the president should respect the law, the president should respect the law, not because George Weah did it. Nelson, our constitution says the Supreme Court is the final arbiter of justice. Yeah. So if the Supreme Court rules, do you not expect the president to follow the Supreme Court ruling?
Thank you.
We agree.
The Supreme Court is not always right. I can give you an example. The Roe v. Wade abortion law that was passed.
You just had a legal mind.
Let's do this one after.
Law is not morality. Law is fact. Law is not morality. So
yeah, Sandy wanted to make a quick point.
We just agree with a legal mind who said that in that instant, in that particular case, the Supreme Court was not right.
Yeah, send it until the Supreme Court can undo what it did. Until the Supreme Court can
No,
undo
wait.
it.
Let's get my
If we agree that the Supreme Court in that particular case did not follow our constitution, should we continue to abuse the constitution? Or should we get to a point where we can hold the Supreme Court
Okay, guys, let's hold you there and go to the phone lines. Let's take some
Who is
calls.
holding
This
the
is the
Supreme
late
Court
night
accountable?
show. The late night show, and we want to say thanks to
That's
all
why
of
we are
you.
here.
Thanks,
That's why we are here
thanks for
talking.
joining us,
We can hold
guys.
that
Can we kindly mute? Can we kindly mute and give the microphone to our audience now? Let's hear what they have to say with respect to this. We've used the microphones for about an hour, pretty close to 2 hours. So let's turn it over to the guys. Let's hear what our folks out there have to say. You can call us up on the number on the screen there. That's for those in the diaspora. Our local number is 0555101075. We have our first call on the line. Hello, you're live.
Yeah, this is AJ calling from Virginia.
AJ,
Listen, please.
is this
please,
AJ?
Yes. AJ from Virginia.
AJ, go ahead.
Please give me 1 minute, 10 seconds. Let me just say something. Let me make some clarification on Andrew Peter's issue.
Okay, go ahead.
Andrew Peter and I for the same party. Andrew Peter and I for the same party. He's my Secretary General for NPP.
What's your name, sir? What is your name?
Walker.
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 Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I'm for the same party. Okay. And during this whole election, CDC wanted us to merge them for this local initial thing. So there was part of NPP that did not want to go because we got seated the first time.
Yeah.
So NPP, so the president was able to play ahead a few other officials. If we think that we do our own research, they made major appointments for NPP. One went to fire service, one went to civil aviation authority, and Andrew Peter went to the registry. Andrew Peter was compensated for two things. One, to get out of the way of those travel, and then also to move NPP in the direction of CDC. Now, I agree with what you guys are saying. The president is proceeding wrong. But let me be very honest with you. If we guys were taking from the advice we gave them, they would not have a legal form. All we have to do, audits, go at evaluation, because everyone has evaluated the full of conduct, and you will have enough evidence to go to direction to get rid of all these people. You remember saw the incoming, that was he get to collectively resign. Because none of these people pass an audit. And that is a perfect ground for removal. The president proceeded wrong way, he got a wrong set of people around, he gave me the wrong advice. If I had an opportunity to advise him, I would say, go make an appointment, audit these people, and go to get use the pictorial evidence, the video evidence, for the election, everyone will be different.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Let's leave you there and go back to the line, take another person here. 0555101075. Hello, you're live. Your name and where you call from. Can you lower the volume of your radio or just walk away from it? Hello, are you there?
Yeah, hello.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead. No, I'm still hearing myself, sir. Just you can make the adjustment and I'll get you back on. Hello. Hello.
Hello, can you get me?
Yes, sir. You're live. Your name and where you calling us from?
Moses Keller from Philadelphia, and I thank all of you for the beautiful contributions. But here is where I stand. I think the Council of Vodia, whom I met when we were very young, some teacher seminar, struck a key point. There is a clause that states can be removed for a cause, and we are not addressing that. We're talking about compensation. Productivity is very important in any job we do. Whether you are in America or Europe, you can work for 20 years and break a law. In fact, the company stands ready to fire you because they give so much by doing that. So you have any position that have all their barriers on, campaigning all around, and those things are specified. They are protected from politics, and they didn't respect that. And let's also look at the productivity of these people. Tenure position. How is our LEC? How are all the institutions that we talk about? Tenure position is not a sacred cow. And I think people are taking it for job protection than even service. I mean, I wouldn't support President Walker to break the law. But if he has clear legal reason to fire people, they should be fired. We need productivity.
Thank you.
Tenure position is no secret count that because you had tenure position, serve your 10 years no matter what. We need productivity. If people are not productive, they should be fired for cause with no compensation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Let's leave you there and take another person from this line. Hello, you're live. Your name and where you call from.
Yeah, hello. Hello.
Yeah, please go ahead. Let's hear you, sir.
Yeah. I'm calling from Ghana's supermarket.
Okay.
Yeah. This Chinese position you are talking about, is well understood. But for this Edward man, no. National history. Can you imagine the alien? They get it more than even the citizen. Then you're talking differently. The alien in the country here, they get it more than the citizen.
They get what more than the citizen?
The citizen are the car.
Okay, so what position?
You are only serving at the way of the own pressure of the former president.
Okay.
So the man need to be removed.
But the man say he get any position, and that any position protects him, right?
True.
Nobody should remove him because he got any position.
Yeah, it's true that any position. But can you imagine your entity having it more than you yourself as a citizen? Is that right for a country?
Thank you. Thank you very much. This is Andrew Peters. This is a gentleman right there. But let's take this one. Hello, you're live. Your name and where you call from.
Well, thank you, brother. Let me say good evening to all of your panelists. My name is Bila Suare, and I join you from Philadelphia.
Bila, let's hear you, sir.
Thank you, and I appreciate all of the panelists' analysis on the issue. I want us to be a little bit fair to one another. We agree that the Supreme Court set a precedent in law by the Supreme Court. Mm-hmm. It is a footmark. One could say I wanted to go by because the Supreme Court is the final arbiter of our law. Mm-hmm. Yes, we agree. What I don't want us to misconstrue the constitutional aspect of this, where the Constitution talks about the president has the willpower for you to serve in his cabinet. If he is not linking it with the code of conduct, if he is not cool with you, there is a conversation that can go on that you can be compensated by certain entity, right? So let's get this another day. So people are misinterpreting the legal advisor conversation. He was clear. Though the way in which he put it out, it might sound like they wanted to wish on people, but it was clear that the code of conduct stated very clear that people who are in violation of this code of conduct were going to be their way.
Thank you.
That we would only compensate if we found out that you was part of those that violated the code of conduct. And the constitutional aspect too was spelled out, like the president has the will and power to dismiss anybody, and the code of conduct or various statutes that gave the legislature the authority to create various statutes by law will not come and violate the constitutional, the president power to appoint or to work with people who we feel comfortable with. So let's get these things clear.
Thank you.
But for us, we support to conclude on this quickly, we support the rescue mission. I don't want us to say Mr. Weah did this or the Supreme Court said the president, but the Supreme Court can be wrong in some of their cases on the basis of how we know our judicial system is like. Let's do the right thing. People should not be wishing. People should not be followed the way in which we are saying it. No, it's bad.
Thank you. Let's bring in this person. Hello, you live and name and where you call from.
Good morning, Nazin.
Yeah, morning, sir. Let's hear you.
Nazin, this is Danwadi P from 540.
Go ahead, sir. Let's hear you.
Look, Nazin, in this country, if we are not careful with our law, we will break everything down and nothing better will be in this country because we have been breaking law. That's why nothing is in the country. That's why the violence or whatsoever thing is in the country. You see, we condemned Georgia yesterday, especially we should know our constitution. I don't think the Supreme Court is really dealing. The Supreme Court is the one that brought in this particular problem. But they said, hey, well, Judge, we are.
You are dragging the Supreme Court now as being the problem in this whole case. How can the Supreme Court be the problem?
We are case about the tenure position at that time, and we all laughed at them. Even the particular Joseph Wagai, they all said that this was wrong.
Okay.
And we should know that those things are wrong.
Thank you, sir. Let's show you that.
The tenure position, we should go get away with the position, get away from them. Let them do their work. If we know that they're doing the work, then we should know what to do.
Thank you, sir.
But to go and then start changing the whole tenure position, no, it is not correct, because these people, they are particular people, need to do a particular job. You can't do this thing to present the election commission. Why will you be controlling the election commission? In the central bank, why should you control the central bank?
Thank you. Let's show you that Danny Walipe and bring in this person. Hello, we take the last 3 calls after this one. Hello, you're live. Your name and where you call from?
Hello.
Yes, sir. Let's hear you.
Hello, my name is Stephen Tama. I'm calling from Charlotte, North Carolina. I think I have a couple of questions, but for the time, my question tonight is the tenure position. Although we are saying that it is a tenure position, but what if, say, we have a tenure and in your administration you're going the wrong way? Is it possible for you to be dismissed?
Yeah, you can be removed for a cause. You can be removed for a cause, and not just any cause now, but something that sort of maybe an ethical, behavior, something that runs contrary to that office you occupy. You can be removed for a cause, despite any position.
Okay, and then we all know that the cause of removal is because when you forbid or when you go against the law that constitutes the tenure position, such as involving yourself into political activities.
There you go, Mr. Johnson. You won't start from the campaign team. What about the other causes now? Sorry, Mr. Tama.
Mr. Tama.
Yeah. You want to go to the other aspects. Why not look at other ethical issues aside from just the campaign? Because once you go to campaign directly, the first thing that comes to the mind of anybody listening to you is that you want to be political.
Yes. I mean, not only the campaign, there are a whole lot of factors that could be the cause of your removal. In terms of corruption or not doing a right job, you could be removed. And that could be the prerogative of the president. Even though the president just appointed you, but to have my something right to be done.
Thank you.
And if you are not confident enough, thank you.
Thank you.
That was my point.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Let me bring the second to the last call in. Hello, you're live. Your name and where you call from?
Yes, Nelson. Good night. How you guys doing this morning?
Yes, sir. Oh, yes,
so,
sir. We're doing okay.
Yeah. No problem. I accept that. So I think the tenure position, the legislatures need to evaluate this tenure position quarterly to know their productivities before even the election. So our legislatures are our problem right now when it comes to the tenure position, because they make the law for this position to be created and for these people to be there. And the code of conduct also specify it. If they are not producing or they are not doing what is supposed to do, their job description is, what are they doing there? You get them out and bring qualified people. So that's why I think in the whole tenure position.
How did you expect the legislature to evaluate those individuals?
Call them in for hearing. Call them in to come and explain their productivity quarterly. Okay. That's the only way.
Thank you.
Someone cannot be there paying it and they are not producing what their job description is there for.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. We appreciate you. And I think that's how we like to draw down the curtains on the call-in segment. Sorry, guys. We can't take any more calls because we're out of time. We have to shut down. You want to do your closing quickly? Let's start with you, Alfred. The two Alfreds, and then we're gonna end up with Francis. Let's just go by the queue.
Yes. Thank you, Nelson. I want to urge the Bwaga-led government that the issue of witch hunt should not be the yardstick to remove people from position in the government. The removal of individuals should be based on cost, legal cost, not because people in the party alliance see that they forced to get job, so you'll be moving people from here and there, destroy our institution. We want stronger institution. No government can function effectively if you don't have effective institutions. That's the reason why some of these training positions were created, to ensure that the issue of check and balance is not only about, between the three branches of government, but it should be in the institution itself that we create as a people. The issue of check and balance, the issue of corruption, the issue of mismanagement. That's why we created all these training positions. So I am calling on President Bwaga and those around you that we fought this fight to ensure that we set Liberia on a new trajectory. A trajectory where Liberians everywhere can be confident and come back home to contribute to the country. Any attempt to start removing people from training position, it will be a very chaotic thing, Nelson. Let me just close quickly.
No. We're not going to chaotic situation here. Alfred.
Let me just say this quickly, Nelson. I beg you. Let me just say this quickly. Please let me say this. We don't want the issue of you do your own, I do my own. No. We'll not be moving forward. We compensate in the next government, we move people. We compensate in the next government, we move people. We compensate them. We don't want that.
Thank you, sir. Let's hold you there. Let's hold you there. Thank you. Yeah, Fanda, let's hear you, sir. Can you unmute?
We have to respect the laws of our country moving forward. We are not running competition. We are trying to face the country that all of us came together and said within the CDC government, the country was so corrupt that the Unity Party want to take over and make everything work according to the way that it needed to work. So what I'm saying here is we have to follow the laws of the country. We have to respect the laws. We have to listen to the Supreme Court. We see the final decision that they are going to make, though sometimes they make a decision that is not right.
I can hear the man.
I can hear the man. You have to log out and log in. Maybe it's a gadget.
Though the Supreme Court sometimes make a decision that is not right, but with all that, Supreme Court is our hearing. We have to continue looking up to them for the final decision.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Cindy, you want to go?
I'll end on this note, Nelson. It's a good show. Thanks to all of you for being here. We have a beautiful country, Nelson, and all Liberians listening to us. What we need is a government that functions well for the people, a government that is not corrupt, a government structure that is independent of each other. Let the different branches of our government institutions work independently and not be influenced by political or by politicians.
Okay.
And given that the Supreme Court of our country is the primary institution that defines our law, they must be balanced, they must be fair, and they must practice the law fairly to represent all Liberians. There are certain positions in country that must be filled by professionals and not by people that are deeply politically motivated.
Thank you.
It was a great show. We will be here again tomorrow.
Thank you, sir. Vasco, you want to end up? Let's hear you quickly. Vasco, can you unmute? You are muted, sir. Hey, I think that one old papi. You said somebody can hold the power. You complaining about somebody being
you know your mute button.
To mute
I saw
somebody you do it and said that. Go ahead, man.
So they
That
kill all our
the
lost
people
connection.
pity so.
Yeah, my party comment will be on Nelson.
Oh.
Nelson, the guys, there are so many on the show. Thank God for Cindy. Now, thank God for my brother Alfred. I mean, these people are true Liberian. They are saying the thing as they see it. This is not about CDC anymore or Unity Party anymore. We have a government that is in place. If this government do the right thing, I still got my children in Liberia. If this government do the right thing, my children are going to benefit. But most of you're still looking at this CDC and Unity Party issue. We're discussing governance. How you guys can govern this state? Liberia is the oldest country in Africa. How can we catch up with our friends? Every day will come. The country right now is everything there is just upside down. That should be the focus of this new government. How can we put these things into place? But you're fighting the first month, the second month, you'll be on the tenure, try to get 3 or 4% out of government. But do you think those people can stop the function of this government? You think Madam Glasgow will go against the United Party government? And she knows she's working in the interest of Liberia? She's not working in the interest of CDC? This is something that we have to stop. If Waka will want to set precedent, if Waka will want to leave, that's what Africa always saying. Nobody from Waka era will ever be president in our country again.
Thank you.
If it will ever happen, then Waka should set that example for the other people that still look like him that want to become president tomorrow. But if Waka don't do well, and which of course we see that I don't see anything positive happening to Liberia. So, but we pray for him.
Why you are so negative?
Eh?
Why are you so negative?
No, I'm not negative. I'm looking.
You are doing
I'm looking.
He doesn't see anything positive happening.
I'm not seeing anything positive that's going on right now. What is the positive thing you're looking at right now from the United Party government?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. We have to go.
Tell me one. I know you're calling me Kroma.
Yes.
Yeah, but you
made Amy Kroma arrest. You know that they made Osa.
Yeah, because you see, that's why you are doing nothing to support the government. So you will not even see what the government is doing.
Arrested 100 million drugs, something in Liberia.
And CDC end up selling drugs.
Amy Kroma to just go grab few parcels or things.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
100 million drugs.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Magnus, finally will be Francis. Magnus, let's hear you.
All right. I mean, Nelson, thank you. And I always say, for my initial statement, the president is the chief executive. He drives the executive agenda of the country. I don't want for people to drag the president into this thing where some people will say, oh, the president is witch hunting. Nelson, the president is not witch hunting anybody. Andrew Peter is no one. It's not even anybody for the president to witch hunt. But Nelson, what is happening here is those tenure positions, some of them, there are ways to restrict the president from carrying out his agenda. If the Supreme Court gave the president the tools, it's almost like they say, Nelson, the day say, no ash there to cut out tree, then somebody can give you ash. You're not using it. The Supreme Court gave the president the weapon to use. And the president is using it. So the president is not going against the law until the Supreme Court can come back to undo what it did. The president is in no error.
Thank you, sir. Francis, finally.
Yeah, our brother Vasco and George, and yeah, we can walk and chew gum at the same time. We will criticize and point out the ills and the flaws of the past government, their incompetence, while reminding our people of where Liberia is going and how bright the future can be. So you guys can come and say that you just talk about the only good thing that we can talk about is A.B. Kroma. Okay, it's a month. It's less than 2 months or a month and a half, and he's busting drugs. People that y'all brought in or giving people like candy on Halloween. And you want to talk about your busted $100 million drugs, but where did it go? And you give it back to the people. You're getting all our documents and y'all go free. Then you're finna the drugs in your drill tower like you was on crack, because once the boss the other drug then I will come to the airport $50 million worth of drugs. Then I want it's like Halloween y'all giving.
That's it, man. Something
but that's fine. That's fine. We'll talk about the past and we'll also talk about the future. We'll also come and talk about Judicial Parker. If he wants to be successful, few things in Liberia need. We need electricity. We need stable electricity. It doesn't mean when we criticize Judicial Parker for stable electricity, that means you guys are better. No, because he inherited the problem that you guys created. So we can talk about the mess you left, while also reminding him that it's not about the mess you left. He's now the president. He need to make sure and pick a side. Either he's keeping money captain or he's going to replace him, but he cannot leave the Liberian people in limbo. The heat is killing our people. The country is too hot. You know, the problem that we took from Vasco people there, it still exists, but he needs to fix it. You know, and just to close, our people in Minnesota, like I said in the beginning, you have to CDC problem you put on your head. You say, not for your own brother in Minnesota. You have to not Liberia in. You not be represented in Minnesota state. You not be represented in the legislature in Minnesota. Somalia got people, Ghana got people, Nigeria got people. You see that yourself because he can't get George Weah spoke against George Weah, so you'll not vote for your own Liberian brother. Y'all sit down there. Y'all be the least ballot in our state. All the other African countries don't get representative. Y'all be sitting down there. Thank you.
Thank you. Vasco, sorry, not Vasco, but I want to say thank you, Francis. But again, I just want to throw this out. There's a serious fire incident. Again, this is what we continue to talk about.
Yeah,
Queen Johnson posted this.
My people, anybody want to
No,
pay
not
about
Queen
with
Johnson,
me,
but there's a fire incident.
fire, somebody in the was. We even know what to do. We're trying to say we know for the part of answer. Any fire, even know who to call fire service or who. Anybody, we are in, we are in. You are cow. Jessica, yes, fire, my people. That reabo. That reabo. That reabo. You are cow, that reabo. That reabo, the church trying to the boy in the was so the people trying to put the so they try you. You're about I even know fire seven no more. You're about that reabo, anybody who know fire seven no more fire seven. We beg you, you're about fire seven reabo. We beg you, your people. We have fire sale. Anybody we know. Your people have the fire boss and play go. The boys are the worst. Father boy, your kaya we have the fire, oh Jesus. Fire penny. Your boss is trying to air. They're trying to air one of the power time now. Your power time now. Your power time now.
Nelson is okay. This is too terrible, guys.
So this is terrible, man, guys. This is terrible. These are the real issues, you know.
That is
very emotional.
But they still don't talk about the puzzle. For the 200 million in months, couldn't get working fire trucks.
I don't know how to say this, man. I don't know how.
This is not politics.
For now, Baka is there. You gotta make sure people don't be going through this stuff. No, it's politics.
This is not politics.
It's not politics. It's politics because the people depend on emergency services. Okay? The people depend on emergency services. If Baka said do not solve this problem, it will be the same thing within the next term. Because people, the government is responsible to provide these basic services for the people. It is politics. What are you talking about?
All those issues,
this is not politics.
It is politics.
Guys,
the government is responsible to provide these services.
Let me say this. Francis, let me say this. I don't think we should.
He handed it nothing for George Weah.
Francis, I don't think we should do the regular politics of this issue.
No, it's sad what happened, but there's nothing we can do for the people right now. It's terrible.
It's very emotional. No, Francis, this is the issue. Politics aside, Francis.
Yes.
Politics aside. Political parties aside. Just watching those kids that lost their lives in that fire, a live incident that you just watched, it could be any of us.
Absolutely, that's the scary part.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And Francis, this is why I think when it comes to these kinds of issues, we should forget about who didn't do what.
No, that's the problem. No, Nelson.
And
then we get
let's
to our
face
past.
the issue
We get
as
to our
it
past
is.
for these leaders.
And the past will not help us
No,
on
we-
these issues.
but
Francis, on this
there's
one,
nothing we can do
on
for
this
that
one,
right now.
this is not
Nothing.
politics,
There's nothing
Francis.
we can do for that.
Francis, the thing here is, I don't know how to put this.
So
right?
what happened when you go to somebody's house again? Was it not politics? When somebody's school, somebody tried to die again. Was it not politics? While our leaders are not providing the business services for the people? That's what we keep saying here in that politics. It's terrible what happened.
President, they're not president. We are president. Baka profile in our house.
No, that's not them. That's not them. But when the problem
Guys,
comes
we have to
about,
end the show.
the
We have
services
to end
should
the
be
show. I want
there.
to say thanks to everyone. Thanks to everyone.
Man, y'all keep talking about politics, not politics.
So, folks, I want to say thanks to everyone.
This is what corruption can do.
What are you talking about? This is trust not there. Police can do nothing. Emergency services cannot show up to help the people. They are saying that politics. What happened to the next house that it happened to? What happened to the next family that it happened to? What we're talking about now, politics. They will be giving these politicians a pass? What would they stop? Who the next family that should be victim? They will say not politics. You got a whole country on the 5 fire trucks and none of them working.
Take it easy, my brother. It's okay.
So who you want to blame?
The government. The one that just left and the one that just come in with telling him that the problem that we inherited from the past government is his responsibility to fix it. Our people shouldn't be going through that stuff. We can still be seeing it every night. They will say not politics.
First of all,
for the people that are happening to.
You have to know the root cause of that fire. You don't know.
I don't care about the root cause. I care about the criminals coming to break into the house.
Yeah.
The security should be there to stop the criminals.
This is what we're talking about. Corruption. In our country, we don't follow the rule of law. In my house here, you enter my house. Every corner you enter here, I get fire detector. Yeah, one right here. As I'm sitting in the basement, it right here. Anywhere fire is, it will ring alarm. But in our country, we don't take nothing for we are not serious people. We are not serious people. That's the reason why you see people dying emotionally like that.
Alfred, you don't even want to talk about the people that are not putting fires extinguisher in
How many homes? How many
when
homes
the
in
fire
Liberia?
happen?
How many homes in Liberia? You Vasco, are you talking about here that follow the regulation? That say okay, you must have fire detector in your house, you must have fire extinguisher in your house. How many homes?
Yeah.
But Alfred, forget about the people not putting smoke detector in the houses. When the fire happens, why are the emergency services are responding? Why are the emergency services responding?
Center, and every now and then, the fire service people used to come to all the business places. They try to enforce it during the early origin that people should have fire extinguisher to the places. But brother, we the same Liberian. In fact, what the people we can't inspect. We take off fire and I tell that we'll get to the men hold it.
That's not an excuse.
They're not supposed to hold it though.
That's not an excuse. Exactly. That's not an excuse.
My brother, their country get a serious problem.
You see a fire truck store, the people will say go back when I want your truck.
And they're not even sure.
Go back.
But face it, some of the places that the fire can even some of the places you can get a fire catching on the people's houses.
Trucks can make it there. I get it.
No truck can go there.
I get it.
No
But
matter
what
how
about when a truck can get to? What about when a truck can get to? What about when an ambulance can get to? But people can't get ambulance to treat them en route to hospital. You know that the first point of contact or to save a person's life when you call 911 is the emergency medical service that pick you up from your house. You know that the first place people can get lives can be saved, but because none of these things exist in our country, that's why people die like crazy. So I'm talking about things about politics. Doesn't it not about politics?
But not politics. This is
it is about politics. When the government don't do anything about it. Let here, Baganate over. He can't even figure out who will build LEC. People dying from heat in Liberia right now. You say not politics?
Yeah, but if Baga already see how to solve the problem, you know the men of Baga.
Oh, you say not politics is already serious? You say not politics is that's what I'm talking about.
You guys continue to blame Baka. I think we have to look. I'm coming. What I'm saying here is that we have already seen the fire. We have to learn from the past mistake, and then we set the cabinet together. Let the firefighters. Not everybody in Liberia know the firefighters number. I can assure you that is number one. The number is not.
Even you call, they're not coming. You know,
but some people don't even know it.
They don't even come in. They don't have the equipment.
Yes.
They don't have the equipment. How would they
Exactly.
Sometimes you call them today, they come tomorrow. So all of these things we have to set the system. Yeah, we can blame whosoever now. That's not going to solve the problem, but we have to set the system. We move forward.
No,
but
we'll
that's the
come
thing.
here, Francis.
How
We'll
far
come here
I see you guys, man. They keep too emotional for me
We'll
tonight.
come here every day.
It's disturbing.
We'll talk. But go. They put it in running around.
And you down there, you negative. Then you say under God, how God going to work? Then you are negative.
And when they speaking the fact, what is happening?
Disturbing. It seems like that's why hell is going to start for our country. Every night there's fire. Every night there's fire.
I'm telling you right here, nothing
Okay, so guys, let's do this. Guys. Let's do this. I want to say thanks to everyone. Where Alfred is Alfred? Did he leave?
Yeah, he left.
Oh. Today is our brother's wedding anniversary. We want to wish him happy anniversary. Where is Alfred's photo? Alfred saying very.
Run away. Hey, in the chat room.
So many years ago, but Alfred
small picking at town.
No, but Alfred weft taller than him.
The more way he
Can you guys see it?
Why you got it?
That's the reason.
Even I get the color he's just Alfred
weft taller than him. Alfred, okay, Alfred, welcome back. Oh, Alfred, you are here. Welcome back,
ask
sir.
Alfred.
Happy wedding anniversary to you. Happy wedding anniversary to you, Alfred.
Thank you.
Wow.
Happy anniversary.
Alfred, what year was this? What was the year?
That was 2016.
Oh,
okay. So is your wife actually taller than you?
I'm not necessarily will come here.
I refuse to plead the fifth.
They may plead the fifth.
Alfred.
I think it's a high heel. Apart from the high heel,
I say I plead the fifth.
Okay, so it means that that's true.
Show your picture out there. You know that one.
No, this one. Okay,
show
so
this is the hand.
You see? It's the high heel, you see?
See,
the same thing.
You got it out.
Happy anniversary to you, man, Alfred. How many years of anniversary you celebrating today?
My wife and I have been together for 12 years, 8 years of marriage.
Oh wow! Congratulations, man.
Yeah, bro. Many more years to come.
Yeah,
brother.
Yeah, thank you so much for the love. She's very appreciative. She saw all the comments, especially the one from I know what I can want to that.
So well,
yeah.
Today anniversary, you go in the basement to counter politics.
My man, that plural is bigger than me, my man. What are you talking about?
Your wife, yeah, correct.
She gave me the permission.
I'm surprised he's there here tonight.
No, actually, we plan to do the wedding anniversary celebration on Sunday.
Oh, okay, on the weekend. Okay,
that's the only time she can have to be home, you know. So that day to have some fun with friends and family members.
But happy anniversary, man, Alfred. We wish you many decades of happiness, love, and togetherness. And keep being that very committed married man that you are.
My man, when you get ready, please call me for a consultation when you get ready, when you get it ready. So I
wanted to say that. I wanted to say. They get in the comment section. Yeah. I'll be screenshotting them. The last time they met two of on the court, in the post the girl. One girl.
So, Nazi, please call me for consultation when you get ready.
No, Look, guys.
Next year, gonna have more awareness about the fire issue in our country, man.
Yeah,
we have to do a show on that thing. I mean,
we have seen the thing so many times. It's just heartbreaking. It's just frustrating now. It's just
becoming a national emergency.
I think just last week again, I think about 5 persons left in the fire.
Yes, just I think almost the end. I think I around Friday, Vasco.
Right, yeah.
If my memory can serve me right, we have more than 10 fire incidents in January.
We have to know what is happening if that is because to be frank, sometimes with the current go, without AEC go. 330 vote.
When people sleeping here.
Yeah, people sleeping. That thing is just come.
And Vasco, one of the things that people don't understand in our country is the kind of wire, the quality of wire that people use in our place is messed up.
Yeah. But Magnus, we can tussle, my man. They kind of extreme poverty in the country.
They look at a breaker. All the wires can be on one thing. They can just pull down a day. Instead, got a separate breaker, separate socket for each line or outlet and switches. Everything just come on one breaker. They got to pull down when electricity go or you pull up. Then when the thing comes, if you pull it down, the thing that comes through the house move.
People
the airbag got window bar. You see, because the criminal.
Another thing I want to also say, we have talked about insecurity in our country. Look at the way our people are building houses. They put themselves in prison.
Another thing.
Yeah. The first got glass bottle. The house got iron gate, got door. The window got window, then got window bar. So if there's fire, you can't get to the exit. You're not going anywhere. You stuck inside there now on the mercy of the fire or God can't save you. You in a prison, you're not coming out your own house because you have to keep the criminal out. Now you can't get outside. That's
what we're talking about. There's no confidence. There's no confidence in our judicial system. So there's no confidence. That's why you see people building houses because.
So guys, we'll certainly talk about this issue. It's concerning. It's alarming. Watching that video, and we just hope that the authorities can move in. So thank you for being here tonight, Alfred Yafanda, Alfred Konowa. Thanks for being here tonight. Happy anniversary to you.
Thank you, brother.
And Vasco Smooth, thank you for being here as well. Appreciate you, brother. Magnus, thanks for being here. And Francis Chabate, we appreciate you as well. So we look forward to having a great show tomorrow, man. We'll be here. We're going to have a guest tomorrow. It's going to be a great show. Until then, for our audience, we say have a good night.
Have a good night.
Yes, sir. A special one from the CEO, stand with the spoon.